Have you been looking at your content lately and you've been feeling it's not really attracting the leads that you actually want to work with? And I'm going to show you exactly how you can fix that just today, with literally within the next 24 hours. And what I'm going to show you is what I've been using to help agents close over 450 million in real estate with nothing but just simple content. Here's a bunch of our wins. If we want to scroll in here, we got Megan. We added 5 million to her pipeline in 90 days. Got a few viral videos. You don't need to go viral, but depending on your location, the effort you put in, actually, because I'm not making any like income claims from this. Some updates from her, Daniel, Aris, Zach, who got, what was this DM? I forget which one, but he closed, actually signed his first deal from content in 45 days as a brand new agent. And the reason agents are still struggling using content as like lead generation is because they skip the one thing that everything is built on: ideal client profile. And that's why in this video, you're going to learn how to build an ideal client profile. And once you have it, every video you make is going to be speaking directly to the person most likely to become your next client. I have no idea what I did zooming in there. So I'm actually going to start with what this actually is and why this actually matters, because most agents don't realize that you need to have a specific person in mind for every video. And that doesn't mean that you are only going to attract that one. Sorry, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get business from anyone else or that this is the only person we can sell to. Other people will still reach out, but we will be the number one for our ICP, which is actually a larger amount of people than you might think. And so is that a first-time buyer? Is it an upsizing family? Is it, elderly downsizers in, South Florida? So whether it's any of those, who do you want to reach? Because without a clear, defined picture of that person, the content that you make ends up just being generic. Not because you made it that way on purpose, but because there was never a specific enough target to who you're speaking to. And that's what we call an ICP. That's what it fixes. That's what I have literally everyone in my content program build literally first, is an ICP sheet. And this is a detailed picture of one type of person that you want to work with, not just their age, not just their income level, but actually who they are. Like, what are they going through right now? What are they afraid of? What do they actually want, and what's been stopping them from making that move? And here's why having just a clear picture changes everything, because people don't hire agents with the most followers. They hire the agent who makes them feel most understood. And so when you use your content and exact words that attract an ICP, your ICP, and you describe their own situations, their fears, their desires, their outcomes, that's what makes them genuinely want to work with you and not treat you as just another option. And I'm going to show you literally how we build this. But before I do, I want to help you dive deep into this, because inside what I founded, the Real Estate Content Academy, I personally help agents all across the country, North America, build out AI tools using ICP data. We build full client avatars, basically, so we can like make sure that the content, like the marketing, everything that we show you how to do, no matter where you're at, is actually going to speak to one person. So in the top link in the description, you can book a one-on-one call with me if you want. We can go over it, see if you're a right fit. But I'm going to tell you how to build that ICP, because to build it, there's 3 things that we need to be clear on. And that is, I call them the client reality, the agent edge, and the trust stack. Each one of these builds on the one previous of its, they build on top of each other is what I'm trying to say. I failed spelling in 3rd grade. It's okay. I don't sulk in that. I do, but it gives a complete picture of exactly who you want to like talk to. So we're going to start over here to the right and go to client reality, because first you need to understand your client's reality, not who you think they are, but who they actually are, based off of real conversations that you have had with your ideal type of client. What are the fears that they're not saying out loud? Is it based off of a past experience with, sucky agents? We all know one. Overpaying, getting stuck with a home that needs repairs. What does their dream result look like, practically and emotionally? Not just the home itself, but the lifestyle, the identity shift, the feeling of finally being settled in. And how do you know those fears? And you'll only truly understand those when you use answers that your past clients have already told you. It's in your DMs, it's in your conversations, it's in the open house conversations. You just haven't like written it all out yet. Once you have all of that, the fears, the frustrations, dream outcomes, that's what all comes to the top of the surface. Because this is where you figure out why they should choose you specifically over every other agent in their market. Then you got to know, like, well, I mean, it's good to document what's your step by step process from having a first call or in person meeting with that lead. Map it out specifically because this becomes the foundation for your content and your system. What are measurable outcomes that your clients care most about? Not like the emotional wins, the practical ones, like buying the right home without overpaying. And that's how most agents will, they'll never actually get there because this is what makes everything you say believable. And even having proof and transformations. The last section is where you gather evidence that makes your content impossible to ignore. So write out a story with a client you've worked with, what they've felt before actually working with you, what happened during the process, what their life looked like after. List your strongest proof, text screenshots, reviews, before and afters, emotional testimonials. The crucial thing is to only use experiences from your clients that you've enjoyed working with, that match with your ICP, because that's who you're actually going to attract more of. Now, you have everything you need to put this all together. And actually, I'm going to make my head a little smaller up here. You have everything you need when you now you have everything you need. And when you put all of this together, it actually is something that most agents have never experienced because without an ICP, you're just posting home tours, market updates, hoping that the right person happens to see them. Some people watch, some people follow, but nobody feels like you're speaking to them directly. So nobody reaches out. But when you have a specific type of client in mind, your hook starts filtering for the right viewer. Your captions start using the exact language that your ideal client uses to describe their own situation. Your stories start addressing the fears that they actually have. And skipping this doesn't mean that your content underperforms. It means that every video is actively working against you. So you can't skip this. And that's how to build your ideal client profile, your ICP. And when you have it, every video you make becomes more targeted, more specific, and more likely to attract the kinds of leads that you actually want to work with. And if you want my personal help building out your ICP and then actually creating the content strategy that's based off of that, what to post, how to make the videos, the first link in the description, again, where you can just book a free one-on-one call with me directly, see if you're a good fit for my Real Estate Content Academy. Again, if it would literally be a disservice for me to like leave you somewhere else, like even more confused. So I'm going to say this, you need an ICP because I've had people tell me that they build this ICP sheet with people that, maybe they just, here, I'm going to give you a story right here, just at the end. If you, again, we're all adults. We're not little like teenagers and don't need little dopamine hits every few seconds. Like you're a grown adult. So let's sit here for a second. I'm going to tell you something that could save you hours of time if you just listen to this for 30 seconds. I've had a client who works with high level people that they have to sign NDAs for. And when she made her ICP sheet in the beginning, she thought that like, hey, yeah, let's not go after low level people. Let's get more bang for my buck, And so we made an ICP sheet. She put the work into to take all the conversations from these high level executives that she's worked with to attract more of them, again, hopefully in the future through content. And when, again, we have a GPT prompt at the end of this ICP sheet that basically summarizes all of your responses that you gave it into like a ideal client profile. And when she read it, she realized that's not who she wanted to work with. In some words, if you know what I mean, it didn't fill her bucket. She'd rather actually work with maybe 2 or 3 female first time buyers. And that's who she actually connects with a lot more. And she ended up recreating her ICP sheet just because kind of sounded like a drag to continue working with those high level people, even though maybe it's more bang for your buck. again, it's still almost the same amount of work on average, and just didn't fill her bucket. It's not who she wanted to like want to work with, obviously, aside from the paycheck. So again, be careful when you're picking this. Take all of the responses from your upsizing families in certain age ranges, from your first time buyers in certain age ranges. And then with all those specifics, build that ICP sheet again with the experiences, the dream outcomes, your processes, and then have AI summarize it into an ICP sheet that talks about their fears, desires, what their lifestyle looks like. How do they actually live? What are their fears and what are their objections that they might be giving you? And that's how you make an ICP sheet. And so go build one yourself, and I will see you on the other side.